There are three major reasons that men struggle today, right? There are three major reasons why boys are not going from boys to men anymore. And I know this because I struggle with this to an extent, right? I had my father present in my life, but it's obvious that men these days are not having it. It's fucking obvious. So the first thing I'll say is that one reason why boys are not going into men, right, is one, is what? The lack of male role models out there. Yes, I had my father present in my life, but guess what? That's to an extent. What happens to the average guy who doesn't have his father around, or who doesn't have a father? So we have lost the sense of, again, I've lost the sense of healthy role models. Because back in the days, there used to be communities of men. If you go to your church back in the days, you see men doing stuff. What that means is you had access to other men, even though you're an orphan. There were other men out there who would either mentor you, or who you can just look at and observe, because that's how boys learn. They observe the culture, they observe the environment. So if we don't have healthy masculine men out there, what do you think we're going to have? Complete chaos, complete disasters. And who does that really favor in the end? So I think it's because when you realize that there has been an intentional move against masculinity in men, because the same ideas that the same masculinity they kill in men is the same masculinity they try to bring up in women. It doesn't make sense. It just makes men weak and makes women dysfunctional, because women are not really enjoying it. They think they're enjoying it until they kind of realize in their 30s and 40s, they're trying to date men who have it more than them. But those men don't want them, because those men can easily go for women who are much younger. So it's creating a crazy world. And I'll tell you, as a guy, you can only save and protect yourself. One problem we see as men is that, as a man, you're not giving a model to life. You're not giving a manual to life. It's rather, guess what? You are born and you are told to figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, you're fucked up. No, if you don't figure it out, it's a complete disaster. If you don't figure it out. So guess what? When we lack role models, we have to figure it out by ourselves. My father was present, but there are a lot of things that he was present, so he led by example quite alright. But there are a lot of things that he never sat me down to teach me. So how did I learn these things? Right? By setting that intention, by hanging around people who were older than me. And I don't really think at first it was not intentional. So back in the uni days, I was in a hostel where there were people who were way older than me in my dorm. So usually we'll sit down again with like six in a room. But whenever these guys are talking about some deep stuff, I'm like paying attention to them, I'm listening to them, they're giving me advice. Some of them have gone through some hard life. They're giving me advice, and I'm like, these guys are giving me good advice, like insane advice that even my guys who were in the same room with their mates were not getting. So right from my uni days, I barely did stupid stuff. Yes, because I barely did less things to make me regret my entire life. So one thing for sure is that hanging around people who are older than you and who have what you want is a super key. Again, the guys I'm hanging around these days are in their 40s and 50s, way older than me, right? Twice my age. Guess what? I'm learning a lot from them, right? And again, these guys are looking for people to mentor. So what that means is, all you need is an open mind. All you need is a mind that is willing to accept their instructions, right? Not to debate, not to argue with them. Because mind you, there's a reason they have what you want. You don't have it yet. So you might as well take their lessons. If it works for you, good. If it doesn't work, don't bash it. And again, don't go to them thinking that you get an advice and leave them alone. No, these guys will help you. Trust me, they'll help you, because if you follow my vlog, you hear me talk about advice I get from them almost every time we hang out. Now, then two, there has been a deliberate attack on masculinity. Yeah, the second reason why men are losing it today is there's been a deliberate attack on masculinity in men. We're being attacked at a biological level. All these shitty chemicals in our food, all this stupid processed food making us unhealthy, mentally sick, right? There's been an attack with the idea of masculinity itself, where the traits that men need to reach their full potential, those same traits are being bashed. They're being told these traits are toxic. These traits don't help you excel. This trait, I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? These traits are what we need as men generally, but guess what? It's intentional. It is very intentional. They don't want you to reach your full potential. They don't want it. Because why? For some weird reasons. Whenever I ask myself, why are they promoting women ahead of men? It now made sense that, well, guess what? The women may be able to get the mental task that the men can do, but guess what? They can still control the women. But if you allow men to reach their full potential, what's going to happen? the world becomes difficult to control because men will begin to think for themselves. Men will stand up to the system. But now, guess what? Men can't stand up to the system because they don't want boys turning into men. So they're attacking it using what? The media. We barely see, even these movies we watch these days, complete disasters. Of recent times, I was watching a movie, the recent Thor, right? And I'm like, a woman now is holding Thor's hammer. Now, Thor himself is what? Had big stomach, he lost his muscles. I'm like, the fuck? I couldn't even watch that thing fully because I was just irritated. I had to turn it off, right? And I'm like, bro, we need to actually. And the reason why I think somebody said the reason why Disney has lost some. I don't know that it's Disney or whoever owns the franchise now has lost a lot because of all these woke ideas. And I'm like, if you want to promote women, find stories for women. You don't have to take the stories that made us who we are as men and try to flip it for women. I think I saw a movie that had only female superheroes. Apparently, the movie came out last year, but I heard about it a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was a complete flop. So one thing for sure is that there's a limit to how much aggression you can put in women. There's a limit. And so what I'm saying is, for a guy, as for a guy, what should you do when you feel like the masculinity that in you is being attacked? Let me tell you something, because I struggle with it. What you should do is ignore it. I can bear to see, ignore it, because the only thing they do is to get you to stop yourself. For example, they will demonize aggression. But guess what? Men need aggression to reach their full potential. So what that means is if they demonize aggression, you should not demonize it in yourself. Embrace aggression. And guess what? They can't stop you. Sometimes when some women hear the way I talk, they ask me to, they tease me and say, this is where a lot of guys lose it when women should test you. They say things like, what did you say? Say it again if you have the audacity. I'll say it again, looking at them in their eyes. Guess what? Nothing happens. So even I have guys who say things like, how the fuck do you say things you say on your short form platforms and women still are still around you? I'm like, guess what? I'm saying them with full audacity. And that energy of that audacity is actually makes them attracted to you. Like crazy. Again, the women that I'm hanging around with know that I don't hate women. They know that. So they also know that, okay, fine. And they look at the message I'm passing, not the words that I'm saying. So I tell you that if you make that choice, I can guarantee if you make that choice to be masculine, there's a reason I don't want to define masculinity yet in this video, because go out there and look at it yourself. Go out there and watch classic James Bond movies. Watch people who are masculine in a very healthy way and see what happens. Go out there and Google masculine movies that came out 20 years ago. I think maybe from 15 years ago. Anything beyond 2005 upwards, you're safe, because anything after that was like a complete disaster. Only very few maintain that masculine frame. Again, look for masculine movies that trigger people right now in the last 10 years, and guess what? Watch it. You get to understand, you get to see that pattern, because as guys, we learn by observation. So the third reason why a lot of guys are losing it is that, guys, we have been separated. There's no men's only spaces. They've completely taken over it, and they take over it from a very young age. For example, when I was leaving my elementary school, it was no longer called Boy Scout. It was called Scout. And I'm like, back then I couldn't figure it out, but that dawned on me that was intentional. That was intentional as fuck. They want men weak as fuck. So guess what? They are removing spaces for men to live. And the solution here, because it's going to be a long one, as a man, you need other men in your life. You can be in a relationship and still feel lonely as fuck. If you don't have other men in your life, trust me, you're going to have bigger problems. Now, I'm not saying that you should not have that. If you're a Sigma male, you are comfortable on your own, that's good, but most men are not, right? And again, most men don't have a collective purpose. I tell you, if you want to fix men's mental health today, allow men to be men in men's spaces. Just watch where they fix problems, where they feel happy, where they feel proud. Because that's what men want. Men want to feel capable and powerful. Men don't want to feel heard. Men don't want to feel listened to. So circling back is that, as a man, you need other men in your life. So what should you do? Join online communities that have men in it, and these men are men that help you actualize yourself, that are authentic to you. Right? Join online communities. What else can you do? For me, one thing I'll say that if there's any one advice I'll give to men these days regarding men having other men in your life is go and learn how to fight. Go and learn how to fight too, because ever since I started learning how to fight, it's been an absolute game changer. When I say absolute, on different dimensions, I'm speaking with older men. I'm in a space where Everybody there is disciplined. Everybody there has a level of they have a way they take themselves. So there's discipline, there's respect, there's values, there's masculinity there, there's healthy masculinity. And I prefer you can start with the traditional martial arts where you have people in their 40s and 50s who are giving you philosophical ideas. Because those ideas you see, for every class, if you watch my vlog, after we are done training, those ideas that those guys talk about are super powerful. You see, because these are ideas that have been tested, and these are guys that were born before this trashy propaganda against masculinity even came up. In their 50s, so 50 years ago, 40 years ago, they saw masculinity in its healthy form. So what do we have these days? We have sissy men who are weak, right? And all they have is what a social media presence, and they feel like they can tell men what to do, telling men to speak up. Men have been speaking up. What the fuck has happened so far? When men speak up, what they laugh at the men that speak up. So I'll tell you that as a man, when you actually man up, when you put that pressure that you feel like is so much on you, take that pressure and mount it on yourself. I kid you not. You see, I say that pressure is a blessing. Pressure is a very interesting thing for you to embrace in yourself as a man. So my name is Tonareye. I'm still on my 90-day streak, trying to create content to help young men become better versions. So if you basically like what you're hearing in this video, because I could go on talking for 20 minutes if you leave me to, I have work to do. My name is Tonareye. If you like what you're hearing in this video, I want you to please share it with other men, like-minded men, because we need to start waking men up these days, making them realize that there's more to life than meets the eye. That the moment you make a choice to become masculine, everything feels easy for you. Everything becomes better for you. The only thing stopping you is you. And this is not a cliche saying. The only thing that is stopping you from becoming from becoming masculine and receiving the benefit of a masculine man is you actually. Because take it or leave it. There is massive benefit for the men who put in the effort over time. So what should you do? So, right? Have a vision for yourself. Work as hard as possible. Because these are things that I got from elderly people. Lead by example, and what help other people. Right? These are just few things. And maybe the last one, you share the video. My name is Tonareye. I'm dedicating my life towards helping men becoming better versions of themselves. If you like what you're hearing, follow me for more. Talk to you soon, and then bye for now.